Some years back, Mr. Anderson, who is a recruit soldier, returned home to spend his holiday with his wife. Although the return wasn't told to the wife as it was meant to be a surprise for her. But the table turned around, and instead of the wife to be surprised, Mr. Anderson ended up being shocked and couldn't believe what he saw. He caught a wife cheating on him with one of the tenants in their compound. He was physically, mentally and emotionally down as he felt betrayed by the person he trusts the most. Let's leave that aside as it is meant to be a story for another day. Do you know that in early 1860, a man or a woman has a right of action for damages against a person who has had sexual relation with his or her spouse? Although the law had a territorial limitation as it was only practiced in some parts of the countries, how I wish the law was still intact, especially in Nigeria, because adultery has become a widespread norm that if we were all compelled to do DNA tests, we will be shocked at the number of people whose father are really not their father. In early 1860, especially in California, there was a law known as criminal conversation, which gave a man a right of action for damages against a person who has had sexual relation with his wife. The consent of the wife to the relation does not affect the entitlement to sue, as in, even if the wife agrees to the relation, it can't stop the entitlement to sue as far as she is married to another person. And it is not necessary that the adulterous conduct should have resulted in the separation of the spouses. However, a husband who is already separated from his wife at the time of the adultery does not appear to be entitled to sue for damages for criminal conversation, unless the separation was brought about by the conduct of the defendant. In the notorious common law action for criminal conversation, 18th century, husbands whose wife had committed adultery could recover monetary damages from the men who had cuckolded them. Husbands were to be compensated for the loss of their honor as a consequence of the adultery and for the loss of the wife consortium. It being assumed that the husband could not condone the adultery by continuing to live with a guilty wife.